Motherfucking morning, motherfucking base. Good motherfucking morning, ladies, huh? Ladies. How are y'all doing today on this most beautiful of... what is it? Thursday morning. We're good, chillin'. Gucci. Tamaguch. Just joining from Miskip's 200-hour Elden Ring playthrough. 200 hour? The fuck are you doing if you're 200 hour in a playthrough? I don't even know if 100% takes 200 hours. I don't know. Trying to figure out why my PC is loud when playing Sea of Thieves on low graphics. Well, probably because of drivers. Just got new drivers, lol. Get the drivers. I just ate some hazelnuts and now my throat is a bit itchy. Do you think everyone is allergic to hazelnuts? Like raw hazelnuts? Because I have no problem back when I used to have them in like whatever, like chocolate
Chat,
bars.
show me your favorite
whatever.
rare spam, yet rare spam.
There's oil in them.
Forsen,
Yeah,
you, bitch,
you bitch.
us, stop,
What did you say?
sucking, us, against, the crucible, night.
Excuse me, but even god gamers are allowed to pretend sometimes, okay? Alright. Anything cool, fresh, new, exciting happening in the world today? The Boys Season 4 is out. Oh shit! Here we go! Here we go! What else? Nothing. I forgot everything from the previous season. Well, I don't remember everything 100, but I mean he had like a kid, and then in the end the kid went with him, right? And some shit. Spoilers. If you haven't finished the last season until the next season starts, then you are not very interested regardless. I'm not saying it's the best show ever, but shut the fuck up, alright? Hey, shut the fuck up, man. Alright. Either way, anyway. Let's see here. Cacklol for 39 months, Jester Magnum, Spenson, Pastor V1, 4CD, rest in peace Zaniki and Q Jank. Thank you, ladies. Got 100 months on Mr. Sonny Robbins. Sonny Robbins, I repeat. We got Sonny Robbins with 100 months. Boom! Thank you very much, sir. He says, Forsen. You still have the OTK Game Expo extension enabled, dummy. Does it actually do anything? I don't know. Yeah. It's on your screen. How do you turn it off? I don't know. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Click the link, Force. Yeah, chill. Let's see here if I can. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. Is it though? Is it an extension? I guess it is, yeah. Alright. Thank you very much, sir, in chat. Alright. That's fine. That's all good. Let me fix this too while we're at it. Alright. Okay, dokie. Alexin, Draconi, Salted Dan, Necronix, thank you. The gifted. Elden Cockring, very nice. Salted Dan actually 6 years. Nice, enjoy the badge, sir. Dankeschön. Tier 3 on Geeknoob. It says Forsen, Offernse, Forsneo, and all the different variations you can make with the letters of Forsen, except for one where he actually added letters. Blasphemy. Alright, let's check out some links.
Why are cities full of uncomfortable benches?
Because
this one has armrests to prevent you from dozing off. Here's another, again with the arms, the stiff metal. And this one, it's brand new. The MTA in New York City began installing them as a part of a subway enhancement plan. And they don't call it a bench. They prefer the term leaning bars. So what if I told you it was designed with discomfort in mind?
Yeah, of course. You already know about this.
New York City is filled with some of the most innovative architecture and urban planning in the world. Today, nearly every kind of public space here has been developed with close attention to detail.
So hobos don't sleep on them.
So these benches are no mistake. They're designed to allow you to sit, but not get too cozy, and that's intentional. The concept stems from a school of thought that goes by many names, but today we'll use defensive design. Defensive design is about moderating behavior. The goal is to limit the ways an object can be misused. These benches have armrests because that will prevent anyone from laying down. Their short back is another nod to say this bench isn't yours forever. This trend is worldwide, and it's not just in the benches. When you start looking for defensive designs in New York City, you'll find examples everywhere. It's the presence of security cameras in subway turnstiles or in Times Square. It's these spikes on this column meant to deter birds. It's the knobs on these ledges made to discourage skateboarders. And there were once sprinklers underneath the awning of this bookstore to prevent people from sleeping there. It's sidewalk barriers. It's even these regular streetlights. Yeah, streetlights are probably some of the most recognizable defensive designs. When they surfaced in 19th century Western cities, the dynamic of urban life changed. Because of them, more people spent more time outside at night, which drove economic development and a reduction in crime. Most hostile architecture tries to influence behavior in a similar way. The designs attempt to make public space a bit more hospitable, more ideal. Defensive designs can deter crime. It can prevent the destruction of public property, and it can prevent loitering. But there is a reason why defensive design is characterized as hostile. Take the example of the leaning bar. Disability advocates have a problem with that appearing in the MTA. one advocate pointed out that people who travel who have disabilities or just get tired sometimes need a bench to sit on and not a wall to lean against. And while no one likes an uncomfortable bench, these additions mean something more for people who are experiencing homelessness. The United States is currently experiencing a decline in the overall homeless population.
Because they're dying, because they can't
But
lie
in New
down.
York City,
What?
the number of homeless people is growing. About 1,800 people were found to have been sleeping in the subway. That's because emergency shelter isn't always a viable option. There are several examples of hostile architecture that target people who are homeless. These designs imply that public space is not where homeless people should be. As it goes, city planners have a dilemma. How do they design inclusive cities? As for the Enhanced Subway Initiative, the MTA's mock designs highlight new USB ports and electronic signage in stations. But you won't find any press materials highlighting this uncomfortable bench. Excuse me, the leaning bar. That's because it makes for an uncomfortable discussion about who we design public space for and who gets left out.
Now you know. How would you solve homelessness? You just inform them that you can buy a house.
He has one of the most accomplished careers in professional wrestling. His loyalty is unconditional, and his vibrant love for his fans is shown by way of heartfelt air guitar solos. Today, we're looking back at the birth of a superstar. He's the once-in-a-century talent, the irreplaceable Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm Kevin Kelly, and this is The Recount. The legend of the man who changed the face of New Japan started in 1999. Tanahashi completed his training at the New Japan Dojo and soon after separated himself from the rest by being recognized as a hallmark for generational talent along with Shinsuke Nakamura and Katsuyori Shibata. Healthy competition energized the trio, who became known as the New Three Musketeers.
これね、いつの時代も三重施設っていうのは僕はね、はい、最近気づいたんですけども、はい、まあ猪木さんの一強時代があって、藤波さん、長州さんで、その後東高三重士があるじゃないですか、武藤さん、長野さん、橋本さんで、新三重士ってのがあって、棚橋、中村、柴田。はい
Tanahashi's patient yet explosive technique gained him quick notoriety, and in 2006's New Japan Cup, he continued to surpass expectations. While he wasn't crowned victorious, his upset win against an original New Japan Three Musketeer, the great Masahiro Chono, forced the world to take notice. He then earned a spot in the IWGP Heavyweight Title Tournament 3 months later. In the title tournament's finals, Tanahashi had his work cut out for him as he squared off against the 6'7" powerhouse Giant Bernard. It was a classic David versus Goliath bout in which he almost got squashed by the 360-pound giant, but was able to strike him down to be crowned IWGP Heavyweight Champion for the first time. Tanahashi would hold on to the title for the majority of the year. But it was long-reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion Yuji Nagata who ultimately dethroned him. He wasn't so quick to relinquish his status, however, and took advantage of the upcoming G1 climax. Beating Nagata in the finals to demand the title back. On October 8, 2007, the two resilient warriors went all out. But the high-flying rock star came away with his second IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Japanese wrestling.
Meanwhile, Musketeer rival Shinsuke Nakamura seemed to have had a destiny that was intertwined with the future ace. Tanahashi had admitted to being jealous of Nakamura, who was successful despite being younger. They measured each other's skills with an IWGP title defense a month later. Enduring the pain from his hurt left arm, Nakamura bested Tanahashi for the IWGP Heavyweight title at Tokyo Dome in Wrestle Kingdom 2. Ordinarily, this would be the end of many stories, but Hiroshi Tanahashi...
And it was the end.
Holy shit! Take him out! Let's go.
Deny this guy.
Get going and check it out. Holy shit! Yes, sir. Sit rep. On my way. Come on. Oh.
Smartest AI.
On my way. Down. Fuck this. I'm out of here. We're fucked.
Suppressive fire!
Motherfucker! Fuck you! He was my friend! So... aim for the heads!
What is he talking about?
On my way. Trouble, sir! Sir.
Do you think they should add blind fire to CS?
Get me a sit rep. On my way.
I don't think the show is really bad. But it's first person only. So how would you do that? It would just look like your arm goes like this, right? Around the corner. Sign of life equals new law.
I'll find out. Yes, sir. Take him up. He's bad. Bring it back. do? What should we do? Who's going to cover me? Hey, what should we do?
What should we do? Very impressed by your skills of finding the random shit. Alright. Jerry Jack Cias, Mad Crunch, Only Keto, J Bird Lol, Volst, Septimus, thank you boys. Welcome back, welcome. Alright. 2 15-year-old videos in a row. What are the odds? I don't know. Someone do the math.
They were heavily influenced by the golden age of radio, the rise of trade unions, the development of transatlantic flight, and the discovery of penicillin during their formative years. Silents tended to marry and have children young, and their attitude of taking no chances would become criticized by future, more radical generations, such as baby boomers. Finally we talk about the boomers. Possibly the most famous modern birth generation and one of the most active time periods in American history, the boomers of the 40s, 50s, and 60s were known for their ridiculously high birth rates. With 76 million births taking place during this time period, this was due to a strong post-war economy in which Americans felt confident they would be able to support a large number of children. Boomers influenced the economy as a core marketing demographic for products tied to their age group, from toys to records. On top of this, many items previously deemed luxurious, such as laundry machines, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, and the telephone, entered mass production for the average consumer, and the average American could live like the upper class from the previous generation. Technological advances made before, during, and after the war, such as plastics, television, magnetic tape, transistors, integrated circuits, and lasers, played a key role in the tremendous improvements in the typical standard of living. With this extended period of optimism came a cultural rush, especially in the music industry, where the Beatles, Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, and many other artists and bands all became extremely popular. Not everything was sunshine and rainbows, of course, as it was a time period where major political discussion around topics like the sexual revolution, civil rights, nuclear weaponry, ethnocultural diversity, and environmental protection all became popular and heavily debated. This was because this generation was a lot more radical. Many people during this time had different perspectives, and a lot of them favored more left-leaning social causes in almost every direction, strongly opposing existing conservative traditionalist thinking that plenty of others still had. Many of these major political disagreements resulted in protests that were becoming increasingly violent, especially as the Vietnam War lingered on and on. The United States would slowly become more divided, and government distrust would rise in the following generations. Generation X. This generation is often called the latchkey generation, which stems from the children of this generation returning from school to an empty home and needing to use a door key to let themselves in, as a result of living in an era of a lot of free-range parenting, increasing divorce rates, increased maternal participation in the workforce, and widespread availability of childcare options outside the home. Young adults of this time period were dubbed the MTV generation, sometimes characterized as slackers, cynical, and disaffected. The baby boom era of the last generation was met with declining birth rates during this generation, partially due to the birth control bill being introduced in 1960 and abortion being legalized in 1973. However, demographic changes brought by the 1965 Immigration Act partially offset the declining birth rates from Americans already living there, and contributed to making Gen X in America more culturally and ethnically diverse than America had ever been. Gen X music saw many alternative rock, hip-hop, punk, post-punk, and heavy metal bands rise in popularity. Technological innovation boomed during this time period, with the rise of home computing from manufacturers like Apple, Commodore, and Atari taking to the scene with their offerings. Video games became a booming industry during the 1970s and 1980s, with arcades becoming widely successful across the country, and Nintendo and Atari introducing home consoles. Compared to boomers, Gen Xers were far more educated as enrollment in college was way more popular. Individualism and entrepreneurialism became one of the most defining traits booming industry during the 1970s and 1980s, with arcades becoming widely successful across the country.
The Nintendo 8-bit.
And Nintendo and Atari introducing home consoles. Compared to boomers.
What? They did not introduce it in 1980? When did 8-bit actually release? Yeah, 1986 in Europe, 1985 in the US, 83 in Japan. So that's not part of this.
Gen Xers were far more educated as enrollment in college was way more popular. Individualism and entrepreneurialism became one of the most defining traits with Gen X, as the collective generation would go on to produce Google, Wikipedia, Amazon, and YouTube towards the 90s and early 2000s. Generation Y. Millennials. Millennials were the first generation to grow up with the internet, mobile technology, and social media.
Are they just talking about... it's kind of confusing when they're talking about... Like, who is he talking about? Are they talking about the teenagers of this generation? Are they talking about the kids of this generation?
Yeah. They are commonly described as the first global generation, being connected to the entire world. However, they are also described as the unluckiest generation, due to their average and slower economic growth since entering the workforce than any other generation in history, as well as them being weighed down by student debt and child care costs. Millennials were born at the time of declining fertility rates around the world, and are having fewer children than their predecessors. Young people of the 2010s were often criticized for having less sexual intercourse compared to their predecessors when they were the same age. In 2010, the unemployment rate in the United States reached a record low at 19%, and these economic difficulties have led to a dramatic increase in youth poverty, unemployment, and a large number of them living with their parents. Millennials are also less likely to be religious than their predecessors, though many identify as spiritual. Millennials experienced 9/11, which changed American culture and began the war on terrorism. That's not to say it's all bad for them, however, as they are often characterized for their digital fluency, diverse perspectives, and a strong sense of social consciousness, due to them being born in a time period where global news and information can be retrieved in seconds. Millennials are very active socially and politically, and not afraid to use their voice. And despite the previously mentioned economic troubles they face, more than 8 in 10 feel confident in their finances, which is representative of their generally positive outlook in a more complicated world. Generation Z. Zoomers. Zoomers are not that much different from millennials, but there are some key differences. While millennials were exposed to the internet and smartphones during their formative years and witnessed the entire world change, being forced to adapt to it too quickly, Zoomers were born into it. People born during this time period have grown up with the rise of social justice movements, a vicious new form of American politics with the rise of Donald Trump, the Black Lives Matter protests, a new pandemic, and lockdowns that prevented most of them from experiencing a large part of their high school or college lives. On top of that, there's an ever-growing attention and dopamine economy with apps like YouTube and more recently TikTok transforming not just how information is consumed, but their algorithms also transforming what information is sent out to the public. Even something as simple and stupid as memes, which were started by millennials as jokes, have become tools to spread and popularize ideas. Individualism defines the Zoomer spirit, as they have once again returned to the entrepreneurial spirit of Gen X
copy everything from millennials.
And freelancing and gig economy work is transforming how jobs are run, while the pandemic transformed where jobs are run, at home rather than in office. Social media trends influence culture in a much different way than before, because individuals are now just as capable of getting attention as traditional media and the financially backed entertainment industry, leading to jobs like social media content creation and influencers being the most wanted job, above traditional work. Zoomers also grew up with SpongeBob, which defined culture more than really anything else in the last century. Generation Alpha. Not much is known about what will happen to Gen Alpha, who is currently being raised mostly by millennials, as it's hard to predict what the future will bring. Described by some as the pandemic generation, they experienced everything about the pandemic as young children, and are growing up in a world dominated by changes in their education and entertainment due to technology. Many talk about the pandemic of
I'll tell you what they're gonna face.
Time with their parents
they
on
can't
average than
fucking
previous
read
generations,
in
instead being
fucking
independently and
second grade.
self-directed, growing up with a now 20-year-old version
They're
of the
literally
internet.
worse
Many will
than
experience young adulthood in their
Zoomers,
20s, and are expected by the United Nations to have an average lifespan of 83 years across the world. Problems that they are predicted to face are mental health issues, misinformation, and polarization. But it's hard to tell what the future will bring for them.
They are the most fucked. Fucking millennial parents, man. You say fake, I say real. Poor Agul Gayaman. Lyris Goopt, Blossom Backspin Glack, thank you boys, Rivi and Frost 8 with the 7 years in a row. Wow, that is very, very impressive, man. Very impressive. New Exit 8 game dev game. Ha! I'm sure we'll get to that at one point. Exit likes. Alright, but first we have a little play sesh, another play sesh with Enotria. There is a couple of new big patches for the demo that we played. That we have played. 354, which is a little break in our Souls-like playthrough that we are currently doing already. Let's check out some patch notes. Yeah, man. Alright, new patches on PC. Loadout switch speed has been significantly increased. Bonfire transition speed has been increased. Enemies grant more memory upon being killed in the demo. That's probably so you can experiment with more stuff before release. Because they specify demo, I guess. Which is Souls, yeah. Using the parry action repeatedly now costs less stamina, and 50% of the cost is refunded when the parry is perfect. Alright. Improved AI responsiveness to the player's location and action. Fix several bugs related to the specials, AIs, and ambushes in the map. Fix the bug that would stop the AI from working when certain conditions were met. Torch enemies are able to attack more frequently and are tougher and harder to interrupt. Improved elemental defense upon level certain stats. Mantelon Nefatorbs cast are now more responsive. Performance has been improved in all areas of the game. Oh, that's nice. Various crash fixes. I didn't have any crash fixes, but I did have some performance issue until I turned on the graphics. But I'm not sure if that was related to my drivers or not, because I had the issue with the other game too. Alright, and one more patch, UI UX. UI. It is now possible to compare items when equipping in the loadouts menu. I mean, that's pretty much a must. I'm glad they added that. Added an indicator to empty slots when items available for equip. Updated stats. highlight in the character menu to make them more relevant to each virtue. Stats are increased by optional highlight, not highlighted. Alright, so it's just quality of life stuff. Updated the UI feedback when item does not meet the equip requirements. Yeah, alright. Improved blending for attack animations. Blending, I don't know what that is. Is that when you swipe a sword and then like the after thing that comes after the sword? So it looks like a... I don't know exactly what that is, but I think so. Yeah, I mean, they wanted me to read the patch notes. I mean, I don't mind reading the patch notes. Good to know what they changed. AI combat areas reaction to player positions are improved both in and out of combat. Player gains control of the camera sooner when executing a riposte and backstab attack. Fixed a bug that made it possible to run backstab. Reminder, in a Notria, backstabs are only possible after unraveling an enemy. Yes, okay, so you can't backstab by sneaking up. You have to actually break their posture, or unravel as they call it. Combat revs, 2 crushing laughter of the combat rev that are different AI that improves the 2v1 situation. Okay, so AI improvements. Auto crafting. Whenever the maskless one has collected enough mask shards, the mask is crafted automatically from that point onwards. Additional shards at the same time are automatically sold, resulting in the players getting extra memoria. Alright, so this is when you kill like farmers and you get like farmer masks and they turn into an actual mask you can use after certain fragments, if I remember correctly. Auto looting. Items found in the world or dropped by enemies are now automatically collected. When the player goes near them, you still need manually collect loots from chests. The future is enabled by default but can be turned off in the option. Yeah, I don't know why more Souls-likes don't do this auto looting. Performance and other bugs. There might be some problems with audio in this patch. Our team is aware of that and we're working on a fix. Alright. Seems good enough. Let's check it out. I did remove my save file because it might clash with the previous patch to keep it with bugs and stuff, so they recommended that. They recommended that that's getting the game capture that mamacita. Alright. And this demo is a part of the Steam Game Fest that's going on right now, so check it out, it's free, of course.